Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. First of all, recognize something. Bitch, I'm back home. Like I'm on some ignorant shit. So if you don't like cursing and you don't like drinking, this probably will not be the episode for you. I am that west side of Jacksonville representative. I don't give a damn that they put lofts in where I used to play basketball at. I'm still west side Jacksonville till they bury me in this bitch. I'm still pseudo-sexual. I'm still atypical, asexual, all of that. I'm in it for it. I'm here for all that shit today. Calm down. I'm going to save it because I feel like we got some topics that might draw this energy back out again. My right-hand man on my left-hand side, but my left-hand man on my right-hand side, the unguardable, the Mr. You couldn't cover me if you had 4 blankets in the open field. Mister, if my right hand goes up, 6 points go up. James, Big Game, Walton, the third, Mr. Saturday Night. What's going on, baby?
Man, that might be the best intro ever, man. I mean, we just might have to have our guest on the show more often, but he
bring it out, dude. He bring it out.
He ain't lying, America. There was about a 4-year period where, that picture like that Megatron coverage has been like, until you get the Megatron coverage, we might dip into that for a little bit in this conversation. I didn't quite get that, but it was close one time in one game. But I want to introduce this guy, Chris. This is a double get, but I mean, you obviously saw I changed both y'all's names because you and Duval, so I just had to put the Duval there. But as I put future IFL Hall of Fame in here, I mean, we owe this guy everything. Let's just call it. This show doesn't exist without this guy that's on our show. This friendship doesn't exist without this guy on the show. I mean, nothing that's happened great in our life, our wives, doesn't exist.
That is a fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest coach I've ever had and that I've ever known. Heron O'Neal, Coach O, welcome to the show. Welcome back, O.
Well, thank you guys for the invite. I'm definitely excited. To piggyback off that last one I was on, that's going to be hard to top. But, hey, we definitely was litty that night. That was a great night. It brought back a lot of great memories and to talk about a lot of different things that our own people mind. Because different people bring it up is you walk around with me living back here now in Billings. You see different people from different walks that you remember them when you were to coach up here and they ask different questions. So a lot of things that come from me don't come just from me. They come from the fans that we still have here in Billings. So I thank everybody that, see me out and about, still say hello. I just seen Miss Sherry, last weekend?
Yeah.
So one of the owners of the Outlaws. I mean, every now and then you bump into different people and it's just great that, being back here, you see all the friendly faces.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what makes it fun to go back. I mean, obviously we got Chris there, when he's there, he's still holding it down for us, and the Brackenridges of the world and, the Bergens and, that have been there, that have been a part of your legacy, throughout and the whole team and everything. But definitely, I think them being able to see you, the architect of those 3 championships, man, in your off seasons, I think it really helps for people to go, you know what? Those guys were really good for a time. There was a 5-year window where there wasn't a better organization maybe in football out, that wasn't where players were making money that you could name in that 2006 to 2010 window. I mean,
that's true.
So,
there was a lot of wins, a lot of championships.
He being all PC about it. Oh, I'm diving right into the shit. Fuck all that. That's what
I'm Well, if you're going to do that, I mean, let me just go ahead. Chris, look what came through.
Oh.
Shout out to Tento Mario, Coach O. I mean, I got to give him shouts out throughout these episodes. It may not be the right drink for what we're about to get into in this first topic, but.
Oh, but I have the right drink for what we're about to get into. Thank you, Screwball.
Well, we're just going to plug our 2 unofficial sponsors, Tento Mario and Screwball. We love you. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, be ignorant.
Oh, let me get into something personal before.
Uh-oh, we lost you, Chris. Oh, I haven't heard anything he said in the last 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I don't hear him at all now either.
Hey, Chris, he lost you, man.
Oh, can you hear me now?
There you go.
Oh, I got you.
All
right.
Start that over.
I'm in San Jose, all right, playing football for the SaberCats and everything. we get word that, all right, A1's going to close, whatever. We're going to hold an open tryout and pretty much let these other coaches come pick over a dead body. Why is it to a professional football league, Arena 1, which is at that time the highest level of arena football, why would you send a grown man who came to a tryout in some Jabot jeans, some retro Jordans, and a wife beater? Just scout people.
Hey, talent evaluations. I mean, that guy right there, a little rough around the edges. Don't get me wrong, just a little bit. That may be an understatement. That may be an understatement. But I'm telling you, that man right there, Robert Reed, that boy, talent. He know where to go get talent, and he know how to bring talent up out you. The thing that I got to give him the utmost credit in 2009 when I started to, midway through calling offensive plays, that was all prepped not many years, but 2 or 3 years previous. I stayed up here, and me and Robert Reed really got to know each other, playing basketball at the Y. It basically saved my life because I was overweight, just diagnosed with high cholesterol. He would come and get me every day so I could get my fat butt in shape. And that's when I really got a real understanding and liking for what he is. Because if you just listen to him, he's got that raspy voice, he's rough, he's very direct. But Robert Reed, man, that dude, he taught me offensive football. I played a little bit A1 because I was a two-way player and defensive specialist. I played a little bit in high school, receiver. But the X's and O's, the analytical skills he gave me to move the next chess piece when it comes to offensive football indoor, he taught me it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I mean, he taught me how – because I was just appreciative for him just being on our team, with what he brought. Because you got to think, his first year, I think he scored 30-some-odd touchdowns for us in 2006. So for him to sit down and actually teach me this stuff, and at the time he was teaching me, I was like, Robert, why are you teaching me this? I'm a defensive guy. It taught me offensive football, but it showed me how much he had to give to indoor football. And his talent is second to none with what he did on the field, but off the field of, coming up with different game plans and he was essential in getting all-star ball players to come here. I mean, yes, they wanted to play with Chris Dixon. Yes, they wanted to play for a winner out here. But let's be real, Robert Reed was in them trenches. He was in the mud forming all of the Willie Austins and, the Waltz, getting these relationships with these people that I wouldn't have been able to get these guys if it was just me. We got these guys because of people like Chris Dixon, people like Reed, to get in there and actually, because he was still a player, so he would still, be able to do what players do. So, I mean, it was essential in the evolution of the Billings Outlaws. You can't say Billings Outlaws without saying Robert Reed.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that and give that man his roses. For me, I'm so grateful for that guy. Chris, can you not? Yeah, I
got you. I got you.
I'm about to say because me and O can hear me. That's because we got.
Oh yeah, I got you.
So let me say this, and then I'm getting to the
before
shit.
you go. Okay, I want to get Robert Reed his roses as well too because I'm very 100% grateful. There was a time where, thanks to that guy, he kind of reminded me I was from the South Side of Chicago. So I'm forever grateful for him because he reminded me. What got me to that point of being that caliber of a player to begin with was to be the guy that needed to prove himself every day. And he made sure that I was ready, to take that spot because it was a coveted spot that I was taking. And I don't know if you go back and look at the games, which I would love to do. The only two guys I probably know that got all our games is either Coach O or Chris. If you look at just about every touchdown in that end zone, I don't know if it's a north or south end zone, you'll see me look and point to him a majority of the times before I started dancing because he would draw a play, he would call a play, and I would hear it in the huddle, and I'd go, well, I'm getting ready to score.
Exactly.
He called this play literally for me to go score right now. And he was the guy that got me to really make sure you're great at watching film, but you can be better. To the point where I started bugging him. He was like, dude, you got this. I've made you Jedi. You can leave me the hell alone so I can focus on everybody else on this team. So, Robert, I don't know if you have been watching.
We're going to tag him in it. Definitely going to tag him in it.
Hey, man, I love you to death, dude. And I want you to know that. It doesn't, I know we don't speak all the time or whatever, but I'm always forever grateful. You can't mention the Billings Outlaws and me without mentioning Robert Reed. He was a part of that, basically three-headed monster bridge of Mike Parnell, Heron O'Neill, Chris Dixon, Robert Reed. Those guys were my four horsemen that made me feel like I could be Mr. Saturday Night. So I just wanted to give him his roses before we really, because I know O's ready to roll, but I didn't, I guess maybe it was my shirt, maybe it was
let's just
bring back some great memories.
Yeah.
We can just get into the shit then. Fuck it. Matter of fact, I ain't got no ties with the IFL. I don't give a fuck. I'll get into it. Why is it we get no fucking respect whatsoever when it comes to the Hall of Fame, to all these records, to the home attendance, to pretty much we are left out of. Honestly, I feel like if they could go back and scratch our names off that championship cup, they would. Why is it that we get absolutely no respect when it comes down to it? Mind you, I don't know the Tommy Benzino dude, but fuck him because I feel like he got a part of it.
Well, I can't say exactly why. I do have some answers to that, though. In speaking, it was a post that I did earlier this year, and Todd Tryon, which is the former owner of the Sioux Falls Storm, who now is the commissioner of the IFL, he answered some. It was a very good question. Ricky Burtz, who is the commissioner of the CIF, which is the league that I'm in now, asked a question on my page because I basically was saying, I usually don't do this. Here's my record, overall record.
I remember that.
And on that post, if you read through the different little the comments there, you'll see Todd Tryon come on there and say the reason you guys are not you guys in the Hall of Fame is you had to be nominated by your team. And there is no Billings Outlaws anymore. There is no more Colorado Ice or Crush anymore. What he said is that was the rule. He said this summer that is going to be mediated and talked about to make it happen. Because what Ricky Burtz said is, how are you not even nominated to be in the Hall of Fame? And I was like, that's a great question. And that's what Todd came back and said. So my thing is this here, that's great. And hopefully they do get that rectified. But I just want to bring back some things. I'll take it back and give you the analogy of the NFL. That's like the NFL saying, we're not going to talk about the great Vince Lombardi winning the first two championships in Super Bowl history. To not have him in the Hall of Fame, as well as all those great players that played for those Packer teams. Yes, it was way back in the 60s when that happened. But the NFL took care of that and did it very classily, of putting Vince Lombardi as well as numbers of different players that played on that team. And that's the thing that, it somewhat answered the question. And I do appreciate Todd Tryon for even looking on my page to even say anything to that magnitude. But it is something that it bugs me a little bit because
as well
there's not too many people that's won back-to-back IFL championships for one. It's only 4 head coaches that's even won an IFL championship. And to just basically gloss over it that, the first 2, nobody even talks about. On VidSwap, they don't even have any film of those up anymore. Somehow that got deleted for however that happens.
Conveniently enough, that shit's going on.
Yeah, and then you look at, some of the players have been invited and got into the Hall of Fame, Mania and Dixon. But I'll just say this right here. James Walton is one. Robert Reed is another. Big Turner, you're one. Big Mike Landry is another. Gaddafi.
Basemore's at least been nominated. Thank God.
Yeah, but Baze is still not there. Trevante Johnson leads the league history in
Yeah,
interception, and he's still not there.
I don't know what that's
Michael
all about.
Eby, Michael Eby is third in interceptions and third in tackles, and he's not there. So I don't understand what the criteria exactly is. I get why I have never been nominated, or none of our players really have been nominated except for those 2 or 3. But I think it should be some more done. And I think with us having this platform, to talk about it, I would love and would actually want, anybody to chime in and, hey, give us the answers, because you can't say that we don't deserve it. You can't say that we didn't earn it. You can't say that we wasn't there in the mud getting it. We were. And for a time period, a 5-year time period, to win 3 national championships in 2 different leagues, I mean, I would put that up against anybody. And then that 09 team, that's one of the greatest teams ever.
It's the greatest team in that league. And that to me, has been the joy of social media, is getting to watch. And there's not too many times I'll jump in, because I just like seeing those guys interact. The guys that I respect, the James Terrys of the world, that are on my Mount Rushmores. And I see Clinton Solomon get in there every once in a while. Those guys are great, and to see them kind of go back. But the one thing that they always make sure they do, they talk about things from 2011. And to further clarify just things as well, and with Owen, where he touches, you got to think about Chris Dixon, Mania Smith, and Charlie Sanders. Those are Heron O'Neal players.
Yep.
So to have 3 of those guys go in, and everybody seems to think they started playing football in 2011. With Chris Dixon, we know that's not a fact. Everybody knows Chris was, because he's one. I think he's the only guy maybe in history to win MVPs with 2 different teams. I don't think that's ever been done.
Right.
Mania Smith, obviously, and Charlie, honestly, I mean, we can really throw daggers. I'll let Chris do the dagger throwing, because I'm drinking Tinto.
Please let me do that.
I'm trying to be classy about it, in a sense.
No.
But there's some facts to really being honest about, basically 2009 to 2013, about some of those championships that have won in the league. Does that really happen? Because one thing I do know is Heron O'Neal would still be in Billings had the county commissioner not done what they did to Mike Parnell. So if I'm going to take any shots, I'll take shots at the county commissioner and that office of Billings. You guys suck. You blew it.
But I will say this here. If the tornado never happens, we'll all still be here. That's the way I feel about it. The tornado destroyed something that was in the infant stages of becoming great. And everything happens for a reason, because we've all moved on and we've been very successful in our next steps that we went to, but never really to the height that we had when we were here in Billings, when we were actually on top of the world, so to say, of indoor football. But like I said, we did go different places and we did do what we needed to do. Moving forward, it's a shame that, we won that championship in 09, 2010. It's a decade later, and we only have 2 or 3 players in the Hall of Fame. It's a shame. Absolute shame.
Allow me.
Here it goes.
Allow me to be the asshole. Y'all are fine. Y'all can be the PC guys. I work in corporate America now. They don't give a damn that I play football. Allow me to be the asshole. Let's all the way the fuck back. 2009. Okay, so you got on that team, you had the leading receiver, you had the best quarterback. Well, matter of fact, you had 2 out of 3 of the best receivers in the league. You had the best quarterback. You had the top 2 running backs in the league. In sack totals, you had number 1, number 2, and number 4. Interception totals, you had number 1. Tackles for loss, you had number 1. Offensive yards per game, you were number 1. Defensive yards per game allowed, you were number 1.
Wait, hold up. Wait. And we had the best kicker in the league. If you're talking 2009,
I'm sorry.
Arguably the greatest kicker ever. And I mean, I played with some guys, but don't even forget about Nate Parsegian. He was so huge to us that year.
You had the greatest indoor kicker of all time.
That season, I don't think
To
anybody's had a
start
season
the
like
game off with an onside kick and execute it the way Nate did. Come on now, a national title game the way Nate did that.
Yeah.
Come
That's
on.
2009. We'll fast forward to 2010. Okay, the same shit happens again. Okay,
And we
So,
spotted
2010.
him. We spotted him a couple weeks because I played like trash the first 2 weeks.
2010 happened.
They had a slow start.
Ooh, I had 2 catches the first 2 weeks trying to be nice.
I had one leg, so I understand. So 2010 happens, okay? Slow start. We still beat the shit out of everybody in the fucking league. That happens. Win the whole ship with pretty much a team that kind of got pieced together and has some key parts. Fast forward to 2011, this team no longer exists. And essentially, from 2009 to 2000, we'll call it 13, and I'm probably being modest about it, there was an outlaw on all of those championship teams. Every last one of them. So, whether by trade, by whatever the case may have been, if it wasn't for that fucking storm, let's call a spade, the storm wouldn't be the storm. See that analogy? See
That
what I
was
did?
good. That was good. That might get some commentary on this. When this one come out, Corey and them might come for us on this one.
I got no problem with Todd or Corey or whoever the quarterback was at that time. I got no
Terrence Bryant.
Yeah, I got no problem with that entire team.
I love all those guys.
My problem comes from when they pretty much the league started in 2011.
Yeah.
Because when I got to Billings, me and Gaddafi and Tough Life have been playing football against each other since we've been 8 years old. The first thing they told me, dude, when you get here, hey, it's going to be a team called the Storm. They think they tough shit. They really ain't nothing. We got there and beat the brakes off these dudes.
3 times that year.
Well, it was the last time, and quote me, I mean, maybe you could do a little fact check. I don't want to be out here like certain leaders saying just whatever. I think it was the last time that Sioux Falls was swept in the season. I'm just saying.
I think we're the only team that's ever done that in their history.
That's kind of what I'm trying to, go at. But
yeah,
hey, I guess we wasn't that good then. I don't know.
The sad part about it, we swept them easily at that. Like to the point where the first time when we beat them, Scott Jensen threw a touchdown.
Well, I can help you with that, Chris. I love Scott Jensen. Shout out Scott Jensen, champion in his own right.
Yeah, he won 3 or 4 down there in Sioux City. So,
another Coach O.
Yeah.
Where was Scott Jensen? By the way, where was Scott Jensen, the backup quarterback at first though?
Yeah, he was with us.
He was fresh out of college. Him and EB went to college together. I picked both of them up, package deal.
Yep.
And they were outlaws.
And he got to work with Chris.
Outlaws.
Worked with Chris and worked in our offense. Worked with Reed. Reed liked him a lot. Liked his Jensen was tough. But, yeah, Scott didn't see grass in that first game, Chris. I don't even think you remember that week. That was the worst week of practice we had.
It was. We got cussed out every damn day.
Because I remember it. I remember all of it because we had just come off of losing to Omaha, and O was pissed because I didn't play well, but I give Omaha credit. They just said 6 is not going to beat us. We couldn't win one-on-one, and you guys defensively you guys maybe had one game I could think of where it wasn't your best game. That wasn't the game. I think it was the second time we played Omaha. I think you guys gave up.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah, the second time was bad. I had to call offense and everything. That was totally bad.
So, but I remember that Omaha game was like, okay, we got to do something. And that's when he went and he got Robert Red. Shout out Robert Red once again on the show, one of my favorite teammates of all time. And I remember that practice because we were trying to work Robert in, and he was smooth as. That's one of the smoothest dudes I ever played with. But we practiced like dog shit. We did. We were terrible. And I will never forget that Thursday practice. We were in the stadium, and O was like, y'all not going to practice in my stadium like this with all these fans coming here and embarrass me like y'all been doing the last few days. Offense, you get up and you run this series again.
It started over.
I went up in the stands for no reason and had to get stitches that week.
Yeah, I remember that.
My arm. Oh, it was like, okay, maybe I took it too far. I got the leading touchdown guy in the league going to the hospital for stitches. It was not a good week, but the one thing I remember from that game, man, we fought because they were up the whole game. We didn't take the lead. God bless Charles Anthony. Chuck played his heart out that game. I think I had the touchdown that got us there. Willie caught the 2-point conversion. We got him, but then after that, and that's when we were talking about this on the show. I don't know if it was I think it might have been with Dallas when Dallas was on, and that was the week basically Chris and Aris basically got together for after that game when we won. The whole city changed when we beat Sioux Falls. Because it had
everybody believed. Exactly. And that's true.
And from there we believed, and that's when we knew we had the talent. But when we showed up and we stood up to them guys, because I think they had won they had some crazy win streak. I don't know.
They were like 20 or 30-0 or something like that.
No, they didn't have the win streak because you guys broke it the year before. We
broke it in 2009.
We broke their home streak, which was but that was it. So we beat them at home, and I remember that because that was definitely top 5 nights of 2009, And then we went up to their place, and I don't
beat them by 11.
I don't think there's been a defense that's ever done that to them in that building.
Blocked a kick, returned it. I don't think we won by 11. I remember that.
They didn't score over 21 points in that game. I don't think that's ever happened to them in that building. So that was the most dominant game I've ever seen a team ever play. So, in my heart of hearts, to try and piggyback off of Chris and maybe get a little bit more ignorant, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It really is.
Do it. That's the reason why.
I gotta be, I'm still employed in an indoor league. I can't be.
And we respect that. But you know what, man?
Thank you, Walt.
For the life of me, and this is the other problem I have, because it's not just guys like us. It's the Ben Sankeys. It's the Luke McCardles. This league was built on the UIF. And I think a lot of guys that even I played against in those days get lost. And, to act like that.
The Winchesters of the world.
Yes.
He was there at Evansville. He was a monster.
A.J. Bryant was my teammate. I mean, there were some guys, Maurice Simpkins, who doesn't get any mention. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Like, this league was built on 2 leagues. And for me, it's a travesty that you could have Terrence Bryant, who deserved to be the first, I'm not. But to have Terrence Bryant, whose entire career was basically the UIF and the NIFL, be in the Hall of Fame, but you're not recognizing the Eddie Evanstons.
Well, oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Willie Alstons. Willie Alston was a monster.
With the Greyhounds?
Yes. They used to win. Willie Alston guys were winning titles. I mean, O was still playing when those guys, when Willie was winning titles. Because O came to the NIFL about 04, 05 when you were with the Cavalry.
Dude, allow me to cut in here and slightly disrespect what you're saying. I never really seen shit out of Terrence Bryant. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, as a nose guard who had to see him six times in my 2 years in Billings, like, I don't get it. Like, and maybe it's because of the guys I had surrounding me. Maybe it was because he was older at that time. I don't know. But, like, the times we played Terrence Bryant reminded me of essentially like Flacco's last year in Baltimore. Like, where there was, like, flashes, but then it was just like, oh, man, this dude ain't shit. I can now run them. So,
you call
But you got to look at his totality of his career. And if you do that, you'll see, I think he got, 5 national championships?
Yeah.
As the starting quarterback?
Chris, they won 4 in a row. And he was the MVP. Yeah. Fair and Square was the MVP of a couple of those years.
That dude right there, I mean, he put in major work. He did his thing. I mean, he was something that you couldn't fool. Far as in the secondary, he always had, great talent around him. Coach Riggs always done a great job of compiling talent. But I couldn't deny them skills that he had, man. I mean, yes, when you came in the league, 09, 2010, I think he only played – those were his last 2 years playing. So, I mean, if you would have seen him earlier on, then you would have seen him a little bit more mobile, a little throwing the ball a little bit more. It was kind of – they were changing the guard, so to say. They went to a more screen and run game,
and that's that's the TB that I know. Like it was check down, maybe one deep shot a quarter. But like when I came in, it was just he was just a check down queen pretty much because it was Terry will be running deep, but then he'll check it down to whoever's like sitting like right in the middle, right behind Kelly Rouse, and just check it down or run a screen or whatever. So I didn't get a chance to see him as like, all right. They got a safety high. This is low, whatever. So it was just what I.
You know who?
Oh yeah, if you see 06, 07, and 08, whoo, buddy.
You know who, Chris? I'll give you the prime example. Terrence Bryant is Troy Aikman. That's who he was.
I can
He was
respect
a guy that knew exactly once you put him in the right position, he was a leader. And he knew how to win. That's what Troy did. Think about Aikman in that 4-year window when they won 3.
And he's not going to make the crucial mistake.
Yeah.
That's what Terrence Bryant was always known for. He's going to make the play that you're supposed to make. He's going to read the coverage the way it's supposed to be read. And he's going to throw it that it's going to be a high percentage that it's going to be successful for the Storm is what he did, especially at the end of his career.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you look at 06, 07, 08, it was fun and good. And that dude was slanging and banging that thing.
They were legit, man. Like, trust me. And
he's big time.
The only reason why I gotta just pause you about disrespecting Terrence Bryant. He walked up to me after they beat us in 08, and he shook my hand and he said, I don't know. And this is what I went to when me and Chris will always go after about 2008. It'll always be the greatest. Lose. But this is a guy that won a championship. He was the first guy to walk over to me. He didn't walk over to Dusty. He didn't walk over to Coach Carr, any of those guys. He walked to me, and he said, you by far were the most dominant player in this league. And the fact that you did not win one award outside of being a unanimous all-star I didn't understand that. So Terrence Bryant will always have my love because he knew what I put into that season. Because nobody played them guys. And I will always say this, maybe outside of Chris Dixon, and this is why I don't understand it, and Todd Tryon's been around for all that. Nobody's terrorized that team more than this guy. I owned Sioux Falls. They were terrified of me because I knew how to beat them, whether it was by myself or it was with a bunch of dogs that I had. That was fun. By myself was no fun because I lost.
Believe me, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
bro.
When you by yourself going against some stuff like that, I mean, it felt like
it's
it was
no
frightening.
fun.
But when we came together and we beat them guys 5 out of 6 times, I still know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in
nothing better.
History, like they say, the eye in the sky never lie. It's just funny how all of the footage from the Billings Outlaws is gone. You don't talk about Billings Outlaws in any of your posts when you do IFL. There's no trivia of the Billings Outlaws. I mean, if you look at the record books, there's plenty of Billings Outlaws in that record book, but you don't hear about it. And you want to be I'm trying to be as good as I can be. Why is it not? I mean, that was the thing that I always, when we said, why? If somebody can answer some of those questions for me and not make it feel like I'm just going crazy or maybe I'm just dumb and don't get it, then it would make me feel a whole lot better. But right now, just looking at it, it was like what Chris Turner just said. It was like Billings Outlaws was not even they never even existed. That's how it's put in the IFL annals, which is a shame.
Let me say this, and then to kind of bring it back and then kind of wrap it up. Like there's been a few motivators in this league that can actually get people to do what they need them to do, and like what you did for that 09 team was ridiculous. I am and have always been a play when I need to type player, and I remember you came to me before the Fairbanks game and you told me like, listen, this center play for the Detroit Lions, I need you to play. All right, cool. That's what you need. Let's do it. And went out there and had 4 sacks and a bunch of other stuff. And like there, even to this day, there still hasn't been that many games where there's been 4 sacks in one game by one person. The way you motivated was different for each player, was different for every coach and everything else, which you can name the Rusty Shacklefords, the Todd Tryons, Woody, and all these other guys. There has been little to no other coach who can do what you have done for this period of time. So this is me tipping my cap to you. This is me saying I appreciate you, man. Like it's astronomical what you've done for the league, and the fact that you aren't the first head coach to be voted into the Hall of Fame is a fucking cry out loud. It's bullshit all by itself.
That works for me. I
mean, I think you summed it all up right there, Chris.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't have to say much. My story, they know. Without Coach O, there's no Mr. Saturday Night. That's all I got.
That's a fact.
So with that being said, America, this is not the first segment. We didn't just bring Coach O on to talk about our indoor lives. We got more stuff coming. So you stay tuned, because you know we got Mr. Media over there. He's going to be dropping these all weekend. So we'll be back to you. What's good, America?
What's good, America?